Yeah, so last weekend in the Premier League was a roller coaster, if you would like to call it. Happy for some, sad for some, and indifferent for others. But yeah, the Premier League continues to give us all the excitement as we near the end of the season. But there's still a lot to happen, at the top of the table, middle of the table, and even the relegation battle where clubs like United, Spurs, and the likes are battling it out with Ipswich and Southampton. But yeah. Moving on to the topic of discussion, we're starting with Brighton and Bournemouth actually. Just 3 points actually separate Brighton and Bournemouth. And we know we've been talking about Liverpool and Chelsea once being title contenders and then switching to Arsenal, blah, 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 blah. But I think there's actually something interesting in the top four battle because only about 7 points separate about five sides realistically fighting for those spots. So, Victor, only 3 points actually separate Brighton and Bournemouth in the race for European spots. How do you think this game could go in terms of a winner? And does any of them stand a chance of making top four, top five?
Yeah, it's a very, very tight battle there. Okay, so there's actually 5 points between City in fourth and Fulham in 10th.
Yeah.
It's all extremely tight. To me personally, the last match day, it was a bigger shock to see Bournemouth lose to Wolves than it was to see Arsenal lose to West Ham. And it's quite hard to say which frame of mind the Cherries are going to be in for this one. I just
Mm.
think that I can see a draw happening here,
Hmm.
but it really wouldn't help anyone that much, because of how the tight the race is. So yeah, I think I would go with a draw actually. I don't really see a winner in this one.
Fair enough. So, do you think any of them stand the chance of making Europe next season?
Yeah, actually both. I mean, we recently had a piece on eplnews.org about how we could end up having 11 teams in Europe from England next season, Extremely unlikely, of course, but there is a possibility. However, um, I don't know if necessarily both are going to make it, but I would not rule that possibility out. I could easily see Bournemouth in even in the Champions League and Brighton in the Conference League maybe.
Yeah, fair enough. And moving over to you, Max, we saw Villa return to winning ways, with a comeback victory against Chelsea, actually. And watching that game, you can say they actually put in, all their effort and probably they didn't deserve to lose and they won eventually. But do you think they can maintain that momentum against another informed side in form of Crystal Palace?
Yeah, Aston Villa actually played good at second half, but the problem is they're not so well on the road this season. So looking at their last games, they won only two in like 10 or 11 games, so it might be pretty hard against Crystal Palace. So I guess the best outcome for Aston Villa here is a tie.
Yeah, fair enough. And so, Victor, this one is not a question where there's a right or wrong answer. It's probably just your own opinion. And this argument is never going to go out of fashion in football. When a club starts to go on a poor run of form, some people will tell you, "Oh, it's the coach's tactics are now wrong." Some people will tell you, "No, it's the players that are letting the coach down." Blah 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 blah. And speaking about Chelsea and this narrative, they are now seventh on the log. And you remember that as at December, Chelsea were only 2 points behind Liverpool, and they were looking realistically like positive to even go on to win the league, and results have now gone from bad to worse. So do you think Chelsea's slump in form is a result of Maresca getting his tactics wrong recently, or players are just out of form compared to before?
Usually, people tend to blame the coach because it's easier. The coach is one person, or yeah, coaching staff. Let's say four or five individuals. It's much easier to kick out the coach than it is to kick out 14 players. I think I'm rather looking at the players for Chelsea's context now. Palmer is nowhere near the level he's used us to. The defense is shaky. Caicedo is inconsistent. Jackson is injured. The goalies are not good enough, either of them really. I could go
Yeah.
on and on. Still, they're facing Southampton this midweek. They'll get a little confidence boost for sure. It will not solve their long-term problems, obviously, but whether it's on the players or the manager, I'm putting it at the feet of the players here.
I think I agree with you. I mean, when you consider that someone like Cole Palmer has just 2 goals and assists in his last 6 games, then it puts a lot of things into perspective. In fact, I'm actually giving him this week as his last chance to remove him from my FPL. If he blanks against Southampton, off he goes for my FPL, man. That's how bad he has been. But yeah, I think if I was to pick anything, I think I'm going with the players here. Every one of their goalkeepers, they've all made blunders in the past 3 game weeks. Today is putting Sanchez is making a blunder. Tomorrow Jorgensen is making a blunder. I think it's the players here, but I mean, we'll never know. Hmm. Well, over to you, Max. We've been talking for about the past 3 weeks how Everton have been enjoying like this honeymoon run since Moyes returned, and just when we think the honeymoon period is going to be over, they keep on extending it further and further and further, and they've now gone 5 games in the league without defeat. Do you think they can continue that honeymoon period against Brentford?
Well, I was thinking this is the game for that to end, but then I took a look at Brentford playing at home, and they lost 5 out of last 6 games at home. So it might be tight again, and probably Everton can see a draw. But probably I'll still go with Brentford winning this game.
Okay, fair enough. I think I don't know. I don't even know how to predict this game. It seems difficult. I could say Everton can win. I could also tell you Brentford will win. But yeah, this
Yeah,
is one of those
there's an
games.
argument to be made either way. Yeah.
Yeah, there's an argument for both teams actually. So it's one of those games where I'll just say, let's just see how it goes and wait till the 90 minutes. But yeah, that's all we have in this video. It promises to be exciting. Game week 27. There's a lot to play for in the race for European sports. Chelsea, the question continues, the coach or the players, who is to blame? And can Everton continue their honeymoon run? All of that and many more in this game week. But we'll just have to wait and see how everything play out. And of course, for our next analysis in our next video. Bye for now.